Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Whiskey and Wisdom podcast. If you don't know already, my name's George.
My name's James Taylor, and welcome, people.
How are we doing? Hope everyone's well and had a great week. Is there anything you'd like to start off with talking about?
Yes, there is actually.
We've got a new setup as well.
New setup.
New setup. I thought this is a bit more relaxed.
We were pretty high before, and it was looking down on the laptops. And listen, today's a nice episode. Beautiful day outside. We've got the whiskey. That's really what I want to talk about. Whiskey is life. Whiskey is the one. Anybody who isn't drinking whiskey right now, I suggest you get a glass, go to the shop, get a glass right now, and do it, because you'll need it for your strength to go hit the gym later.
Start drinking.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Right. Is there anything you want to start off with?
Yeah, there is actually. This is an interesting topic, right? Because obviously in the UK and in the USA, and actually a lot of countries right now, a lot of people are talking about immigration.
Okay. Oh no, right? I've had this. I've got this as well.
A lot of people are talking about immigration, right? And I was thinking about how there are because there's two ways to look at immigration, and the first way I want to look at it right now is, and we get into the fact that I think that it's too easy to get into this country right now, and with the floodgates are open. People just coming in who shouldn't be here. I don't think a lot of these people should be here. A lot of the people who are coming in now, especially from the certain countries and the culture they're bringing
and the
into
type
this
of people.
Yeah, the type of people.
It's not kids and women, for example. It will be middle-aged men,
military
criminals,
rapists.
Whoever. Yeah, exactly.
100%. But it also got me thinking about how there are people who do want to come here and who actually like the way we do things here. And then it also got me thinking about the people who were born here who always talk about hating this country. Right? Because I see it all the time. There's loads of people who say, "Oh, I hate England. England's this. Fuck them." And I'm not talking about speaking out against the government, because that's a different conversation. That is a different conversation. Listen, I talk shit about the government a lot.
So do we.
And
so do I. Sorry,
we do, right? And you should be allowed to. But there's some people who genuinely hate this country. It's like they hate the fucking earth. They hate the land that they're walking on. And I was thinking, why don't they just fucking leave? You know, like if you don't like this country, leave. Because, and I'm not talking about I don't mean like you don't like the way the country's heading. I mean, for some reason, you have this like rooted hatred for this country, and you hate everything we stand for. You hate the British flag. You hate the Union Jack. You also hate the flag in terms of English, Scottish, Welsh, whatever actual country you're living in. And yeah, it really annoys me, right? Because it really annoys me because they're so ungrateful.
And I just want to chime into this. The reality is, if you went to say for example with the Western countries like the UK and America, like you're saying, some of these people that do hate this country and they're dissing it like you were saying, and they want to be somewhere else. If they went to one of these other countries around the world, they'd soon want to come back. Yeah,
100%. This is what I'm saying. They talk shit about this country, but they don't fucking leave. Where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna go that is better than this country? That's also gonna accept you for being a fucking lazy, transgender, degenerate fucking weirdo with blue hair who loves abortion, doesn't want to have kids, etc., etc., etc. Okay, maybe I'm talking about some women. Listen, I'll be honest. I'm talking about women, really. Like, not that, like, there are men who say the same thing, but as I was explaining my point about the people who constantly talk shit about the country, usually online, right? Usually on Facebook and Instagram, whatever. Yeah. But I think a lot of them are women, and I think to myself, if you're a woman, this is really the best place you could be.
Yeah, you've got rights, you can work, exactly. You're allowed to drive.
Yeah, you're allowed to drive, right? You're allowed to, well, for some reason, you're allowed to be a dirty hoe.
Yeah.
Pardon my French. Right? but this is the truth. And it just makes me think, like, if you had, in terms of the immigration, right, if you had the people who are going to come here and contribute to society and not bring some crazy culture that's going to tear down our English culture, upon their arrival, right? Why don't we do a fucking swap for the woman on Instagram complaining that
let's swap
England's fucked and this and that and the weather's shit, blah 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 blah. Get out and swap.
Yeah, we'll swap you with Syria. Some Syrian woman who has nothing to eat. She's been a victim of war, for example. We'll swap you,
exactly,
and then we'll see how your TikTok goes there.
Exactly. You want to call. Listen, again, I diss constantly the government in terms of what they spend money on and this and that. A lot of policies, but then you say, oh well, they're just fucking terrorists and this and that and the other. I think no. You may think that they're terrorists, and I'm talking about like sending, bombs, airstrikes to Syria and Yemen, etc. Yep. And I think and Afghanistan recently, obviously, this is in this year within the last 2 weeks, and I think, if you call that terrorism, right? If they didn't do that, then these countries would come and fuck us all up, right? So there's people I don't think understand like how you need to behave as a government.
It's a very complex scenario, isn't it?
It's complex.
And talking about immigration, I just want to say, we've had this massive influx of migrants into the UK and America and other Western countries. What I don't understand is these governments and stuff, and I'm going to contradict your point a little bit.
Go ahead.
But they don't really care about the people that are already in their countries.
No, they.
So why are they letting in more?
Yeah.
And making out as if they care? Because they don't care about me, they don't care about James, they don't care about you lot at all.
No, they hate you.
They hate us.
They do hate you.
They hate
so maybe you have a right to hate them, actually.
Yeah.
But don't hate the country. I
don't mean the country, and you know what I'm trying to get at.
I understand your point, yeah.
But yeah, and I just think, why are they letting in all these people? And one sort of theory that I have, you might say it's a bit out there. But, we've had the vaccine, it's killing a lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay? To compensate for the numbers of that the people are dying, they've decided to let in all these migrants so they can go on their data sheet, look, we've actually, birth rates increased. We've had more people come into the country. That could be one side of the story that potentially could be explored.
I do have another theory as well, and it kind of comes into, one, because people aren't having kids at the rate they were before.
Yeah. No, that's very true.
Abortion.
But why is that?
And single people and hot girl summer, etc., etc., etc. Strong, independent woman, don't need a man, all this sort of stuff. Then they need people in the workforce, right? They need a new generation of people in the workforce. I'm not also going to say that the left and actually, you know what? Fuck it. They need more people to vote and come in, and they need more tax. They need more tax money. Like they need to use them. And also, I think there are certain people in government, mainly I'm going to say like the Labour Party, in this country specifically, right, who actually don't like they don't like the country too. So I think that there's some people on the inside who don't like the country, so they're trying to tear it down. Obviously, listen, when you talk about a country, listen, we're talking about land. Like land is land. But when you talk about the culture, the heritage, they don't like it, so they're trying to destroy it from the inside. How do you destroy it from the inside? Well, diversity. Diversity of culture, diversity of skin color, diversity of, that's really it. Yeah. As long as it's not diversity of, political opinion and being a slave, etc., etc. That could be a valid reason as to why. I think it's mainly, I would say the economy. Yeah. I think it's the economy. You have to understand, the British economy is officially in a recession now.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that as well. And Germany and Japan also, which are two massive players across the world.
And you also have, and this is not to do with the economy, but this is to do with the hating of the country. I think some people hate the history of white people talking about slavery and this and that and the division.
Yeah, but do they really?
I think there's two types of people. So some people
don't care,
but some people, I genuinely think some people, I think they've been brainwashed by the other people who actually don't care. They've been brainwashed to the point where they genuinely feel like this country owes anyone who isn't white a chance because the ancestors 3, 4, 5, 6 generations ago were bad people. And even though they were just people of their time, but I think some people genuinely believe that it's good. They know what they're doing in terms of wrecking the country and sort of destroying the culture, but I think that they genuinely believe they have good reasons. Now, when I say the people who genuinely believe, I'm talking about the people who are in the spotlight. I'm not talking about the people behind the scenes, pulling the strings because they're all puppets. But certain people are being used, and those people probably aren't actually people in power, but people who are really, who get the microphone and a chanting in the streets on behalf of the people in charge. That's one way to look at it.
No, definitely. It's a very complex situation.
Well, I was thinking this the other day, actually. It's funny you say.
And there's lots of avenues you could take.
Civilization is a very complex thing. Like, it's really... And the reason I was thinking this is because I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and we were talking about how, in terms of business and, you know, you're out and about and you're out in the public, you sort of have to put on this politeness. It's not that you're a bad guy, but it's not genuine, right? You put on the smile.
Like a front.
It's like a front, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, well, why is that? And I think it's because if everyone, like, if you didn't do that, civilization wouldn't be the way it is. It would be very hostile, you know?
But you've also been programmed to act in a certain way.
Oh, yeah.
Because you believe that's right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, me too. Like, me,
I'm
one of them.
It's good to be polite,
listen, I like to think, and again, this is it. I'm almost questioning myself now. I like to think when I say good morning to the old lady walking the dog that I mean it, but maybe I've just been maybe I've just been programmed.
She takes it the right way.
If she was having a bad morning, I don't want to sound like an arsehole, but would I really care? Not really. You know, like, no. I don't know. I think I myself have been programmed to be a civilized person of society, and then the reason is, I think, just to keep peace in society, like, it's hard and it's complex, and the people at the top see themselves in, like, that's where you talk about power and control, because they see themselves as the gods in a sense of, like, we're going to decide how everyone's going to behave because we've got this title of Prime Minister or MP, whatever the fuck, you know, if you're in US president, you know, your decision making, trying to keep civilization going. And it is complex. It's complex.
Definitely.
If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, I'm trying to... It's hard to articulate the point.
Yeah.
It really is hard.
It's very hard to dissect it. No, completely. Let's talk about... We're talking about, obviously, the Prime Ministers, etc. Did you see the video of Richie Sunak with that Scottish fella talking about... He was vaccine harmed.
Look me in the eyes.
Did you see it?
I did see that.
What I want to say is, obviously, I don't believe that all the doctors, you know, all the people that were involved administrating the vaccines and stuff, you know, I don't believe that they knew that it was going to have this effect on these types of people. They were just doing their job. But Richie Sunak, if I watched that interview, and personally, I thought it looked fake. I don't know why I thought that. My first image when I pulled it up, I thought it was fake, but I don't know if I believe it anyway. But if I was Richie Sunak, I would feel so bad. You imagine you're in that scenario with all these people around you that have been injured by this thing that you've basically said, look, you've got to take this. They've done this psychological warfare on you. You know, if you don't take this, you're a coward. If you don't take this,
manipulation.
Manipulation. Do you know what I mean? And he's the one pushing that forefront.
With a degree of blackmail. Yeah, remember.
Completely.
You don't do this, well, you can't go here.
He must feel terrible inside.
Yes, but this is what I would say about that specific
topic,
right? Well, that show. It was an episode of a show. I can't remember the guy who done it. I don't watch that show.
But surely that guilt eats him up alive.
What I think is interesting is that Boris Johnson doesn't have to answer any questions, and he was the guy who making these decisions. But this is the kind of thing I was thinking, and I was wondering why Rishi Sunak didn't say it. Obviously, you can't, as a politician, you can't just sit and say, well, I mean, I wasn't the Prime Minister when you're talking, you know, but you have to take responsibility for your party.
But he did also say
and he was part of the party. Obviously, like, that's why he wasn't voted as a Prime Minister. He was just part of the party, and now he stepped up. Well, they told him, you can be the guy.
Yeah.
It is interesting, but what I'll say is, at a certain point, and this is where it comes to, like, the type of leaders you want in control, can a Prime Minister just say, like, in the future, if he's getting this advice from the doctors, etc., the healthcare, surely he can just say, well, hang on a minute.
Let's do some proper testing.
Like,
I want to see it for my own eyes.
Because what he's genuinely saying,
the public
when you break down exactly what he's saying, what he's essentially saying is, we've allowed these doctors to make decisions on our behalf.
Yeah.
As in, the doctors say do this, we said yes, sir. So when he says doctors, Is he talking about actual doctors or people who speak to doctors? Maybe the people behind the scenes.
Sales team behind the COVID vaccine. And tying into sales team and pharmaceuticals, me and my mum were having this conversation this morning. We were talking about how we don't understand why pharmaceutical industries employ sales teams to go out and sell products to doctors.
Yeah.
Surely the doctor's interest should be whatever's fit to suit that patient, okay? Not what's the best seller on the market, what's going to make them the most money. Because these pharmaceutical sales teams, they get paid thousands, millions of pounds to go out and sell these products to doctors, okay? And this is a little bit of research if you want to do it yourself. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a series it was on Disney. I don't know what else you'll be able to find it on. It's called Dope Sick, okay? And it's about the OxyContin. Did you hear about it? Yeah, OxyContin.
Oh, well, no, I haven't seen the show.
Okay,
but
basically, OxyContin was a opioid in the States, and basically they were prescribing it for. It's very, very addictive, almost like heroin. And they were prescribing it for silly things like a headache or, the common cold, whatever. They were prescribing it to everyone and anyone, basically. And it had this dramatic effect. And now there's hundreds of thousands of American citizens still addicted to OxyContin. And, it's absolutely disgusting. It goes through the process of how they done it and how the sales teams were pushed to go into these doctors and say, look, sell this is this, and this is how much money you'll make. Yeah. And basically it's the process of that.
I knew about, listen, OxyContin's been about for a very long time. Yeah. It was one of the first prescription drugs I ever heard of, and I'm talking about when I was sort of like 9-10 years old. I really knew about this, only from film and TV. But, so what would happen is these people get hooked on OxyContin, then you're buying it. So people are buying OxyContin on the street because they're so addicted, and then they don't get prescriptions anymore.
So they go into heroin.
Then they go into heroin. So obviously, it's opioids. It's all addictive, and the fact that you have people selling it, because this is the way I see it, right? If you know about sales, you'll learn almost. It's called the doctor technique, right? As in, when you go to a doctor, even though you want his service, the idea is that the doctor doesn't actually need to sell himself because he's just you got a broken leg. Okay, well. That's okay. There's nothing for me to sell you. You need this solution. I can provide. It's almost that the fact that you need to sell pharmaceutical drugs just shows that actually the need isn't
not really
there.
Needed.
Because it's like a cure. You don't need to sell a cure for cancer. All you have to do is prove that it works. Right? If you know it works, you don't have to sell it. You don't need a sales guy. You could have You could have whoever. You could have a monkey. Could sell that shit. Yeah. Right? We need it. Yeah. So when it comes to all these prescription drugs,
why have they got to try and sell them?
Yeah. Yeah, because you're convincing them, and when you're talking about sales, yes, certain things, it's not all there may be actual reasons, but generally speaking, you're going to mention the profits. If someone the driving force of why should we take your product is, well, we can make money too. It's all about the money when you think about it. And in America, obviously more because, a lot more private doctor, the doctors get paid depending on what they prescribe, et cetera, et cetera. But that's an interesting point you made. I would say that, and like I said before, I don't blame anyone working as a salesman I don't blame them because they're thinking, well, fuck it. If this is going on, I'm going to make money too. But
this is where it comes into the morality.
Exactly. There is a moral standpoint, right? I want to make money through sales. I'm not going to go sell fucking some little kid. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? So at a certain point, these people should be thinking, well, I'm not going to do that.
But obviously, at the time, the people selling the OxyContin, they did not know that it was going to have this detrimental effect, because in the classes, they was having specific classes, they employed this set team of salespeople. I don't know how many, whatever, let's just say 50, for example.
Yeah.
They'd employ them, they'd sit them down in the room, they'd give you all these statistics that were on this whiteboard, they'd go through all this learning, they'd do an 8-week course, for example.
Yeah.
And it would give you all these stats of how it's going to help you, how it's not addictive and stuff, all the procedures, and basically all of it was a lie. Okay, and it was actually really addictive.
Yeah.
So like you said, you can't blame the salesman. It's the same with the vaccine. You can't blame the people that give you the vaccine. They're listening to what everyone else is listening to, okay? But then there comes a point where people need to sort of realise, okay, hang on a minute. It's like now, for example, if you know that there's people dying of the vaccine or Oxycontin, whatever, there comes a point where people go, hang on a minute, what's going on?
Well,
and the reality is, that's the point in time. Then you need to start speaking out about it and realise and start looking. These people in these professions need to start going, hang on a minute, well, I'm going to do my own research into this vaccine, into this drug that they've made, and make my own decision for it, rather than deciding, they're making their mind up from what they've been told, from their head, and their management.
And this is a point, like when you say that, all I now start to think is, because I think about me specifically. Right? Yeah. People need to think, not on every single topic, although that would probably help your life. Think the way I think, right? I make a personal decision on what I'm going to start taking. So people need. I don't have this automatic trust into these pharmaceutical companies or these doctors, right? Like if a doctor tells me to take this, I'm not just going to take
second guess it,
right? Like I don't like, I don't get a headache and think, oh well, I'm going to take ibuprofen. No. Like people need to stop being so naive and understand that if you're paying for it, in whether it's through your taxes or through actual cash, credit card, whatever the fuck, well, you need to make a decision on whether it's an actual purchase you should be making, right? And this is the thing when it comes to these sales teams, and sort of what I spoke about before, where the doctor, and they don't really have to sell to you. Yeah. When it comes to the actual people prescribing them, or you're being prescribed this drug, you need some Oxycontin to relieve the pain or whatever the fuck, I don't know what it's for necessarily. But people need to start thinking more. They need to stop being
sold. What's the benefit for me?
People are
too benefit for somebody else?
I think some people are too easily sold. Like they're too easily sold. But they've got and this is the crazy thing. People have their guard up, right? When it comes to if someone tries selling you a car, you've got your guard up. No, thank you. Someone comes up to you on the high street. If you sign up for this course, can I 30 seconds of your time to look at this? No. Someone tries selling you a course. Oh, I've got this course and my fitness course, or my make money and take 10 grand in 2 weeks. No, thank you. They've got their guard up. They've got their guard up. They can't be sold to. I'm not a fucking random Joe Schmo customer. Boom.
Take the vaccine.
We got this drug. The pharmaceutical company come along. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Go on. Do it. Put it right there. It's a joke. The same with the Oxycontin. And just
there's many one more thing on Oxycontin.
Oxycontin was probably the beginning of the decline in America.
Yeah.
No. When I talk about the people being addiction, like the big addiction and people getting used to these prescription drugs, and then they trust the pharmaceutical companies and their doctors and their pharmacists to be taking Oxycontin. Then they get taking the antidepressants. Then they start taking the fucking ADHD medication on their kids. Then they start taking hormones to and chopping their dicks off. Like it was the beginning of too much trust to the pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to just touch on a really good point that you've made. I do something sort of similar. So basically, say for example, I'm going to make a purchase, and it's quite a big purchase, whatever, a car, fucking house, whatever you want to do. What I'll do is I'll say, I don't know if you have this, but I just come up with these fucking random ideas sometimes. Anyway, they pop into my head, get these random ideas. And or to buy something, whatever. Yeah. What I'll do is I'll take that idea, I'll either write it down or I'll have it on my mind. And before I make any rash decisions in that emotional moment, I normally sit on it for at least a day or 2 days, or 2 days. Sorry. And what I'll do is I'll wait a couple of days. Obviously, it depends on the scenario, but like I said, with a purchase, say for example, you wake up and you think, I don't know, say you've been saving for fucking however long, and you wake up one day, you think, oh, fuck it, I'm going to buy this car. Rather than making that impulse purchase and just going out and doing and acting on your feelings that day, I'd sit on it for a week, a couple of days, and then come back to it and then see if you still feel the same. This is what I do quite a lot with things. I think it's really important to do.
I'm not easily sold.
No, exactly. This is what I'm trying to
get into. I don't just make this impulse, but you
need control. Not impulsive. Yeah, you should always try and sit and sort of analyze the benefits for you, the benefits for that other person.
Yeah, 100%. Now look, Like, that doesn't mean that you should be scared to bite
No,
the bullet.
I don't mean it like that.
Sometimes you need to
sometimes
bite the
things
bullet.
come up, and it's like you need.
Yeah,
to
sometimes
do
you
that.
need an opportunity. And you think, fuck it. I'm putting my fucking cards on the or whatever the fuck,
definitely.
whatever the saying is.
There's a time and a place.
I'm all in. Fuck it. I'm doing it. But when it comes to, like you say, a lot of purchasing, and this isn't just about pharmaceuticals, but like this impulse, this lack of control, like people aren't thinking things through.
Yeah.
And that decision, like if that decision can affect you, and like you say, the people who first start taking Oxycontin, right, or taking any prescription drugs, they aren't usually thinking it through. Either they're too easily sold, which is your fault, by the way. Like, that's not it's not the salesman's fault. It's your fault for being so naive. Or you don't really think things through and you just say, yeah, go on then. And listen, it's the same. If someone said to me, try this crack, I'm not going to go, yeah, go on then. I'm going to think,
what's it going to do for me?
I might end up on the street like a fucking bummy, pathetic
But the only thing is, if you didn't know about this and you went into the hospital, for example, with a broken leg, and they say, look, say you was on...
Sign this, we need... Sign this so we can put this in. Say you was under
anaesthetic, for example, and, you know, they've got to cut you open, okay, and you feel really sore after, and they're like, oh, just take this after. They don't tell you what it is, they just say, take this.
That's true.
That's where it's very complex in all scenarios, obviously. But you need to, like you said, you need to be careful. In the scenarios that you can be, you need to be careful.
If you're paying for it, if you're paying for it, be cautious.
Definitely.
You know, be cautious.
Obviously, some scenarios can't be helped.
This is also just about life in general. Like, you can't be easily sold. Because if you can really be easily sold, then you can easily be convinced. Or should I say sold, but not in terms of making a purchase, just sold on an idea. No, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all together, and it's in the same category of be careful, and you can't be controlled, you can't be sold. Like, being sold, I don't just mean purchase-wise, I just mean convinced, like brainwashed, in a way. Like, have your own opinion. Like, if a doctor tells it, like, this is what I'm saying, like, a doctor will say to me, oh, let's say I have a kid. Kid's a bit nutty, loose, whatever the fuck. For some reason, I took him to a doctor. What's wrong with this kid? Says he's got ADHD. I'm not just going to go, okay, yeah, sweet. What medication? I'm going to think,
Does he really? Or is he just eating too many sweets?
Yeah, like
Is he drinking too much Coke?
Exactly.
Is he playing too many video games?
Exactly. Like, and remember, think about it, right? If the mechanics, I take my car to a garage, mechanic says you can't need this, and that. I'm going to think, well, how much is
driving, all right?
Are you trying to get money out of me? Well, let me think on it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it sort of spans into every point, every aspect of your life in terms of not being easily sold, because you're going to get taken advantage of. Maybe the doctor was right. Maybe he was, but maybe he wasn't. And you taking time to think it through may help you, may stop you being taken for granted. Maybe you thought it through. Maybe you booked yourself in to take the COVID vaccine like I did, booked in for whatever reason. I can't remember why. I booked in. And then thought, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. No. I think I'm going to take my chance. And listen, a lot of people do that. I'm booked in for certain things, or I sort of agreed to in a way. Okay, fine, I'll get and that then you bit. Think it but through. I'm not sending you the money for the new engine just yet. Let me think about it. I'll send you the money tomorrow. Car's running all right. Take it to another guy. He says, there's nothing wrong with that. Thank God. Thank God I wasn't easily sold.
Definitely.
You know, it's more than just purchasing.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, I don't know, you probably get this. I've got this, you have this sort of sixth sense.
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
you have this sixth sense, okay? And I've had it before where, like, say, for example, or say you're going to do a business deal, or, you know, you're going to buy a car, or, you know, you're buying a bit of clothing, whatever, you're in a relationship, okay? Say you're in a relationship, let's do a relationship, for example. Relationship. Right, say you're with a girl or a boy. Anyway, you're in this relationship, and, you know, you've got this feeling, this whole feeling is in your body that person's cheated on you, okay? You know, you're feeling it all around, your body's telling you that she's cheated on you, or he's cheated on you. And, you know, and they're telling you, they're saying, no, look, I didn't do that. You know, I was just at Tracy's last night. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Whatever, okay? And then you find out, you believe him. You say, yeah, okay, right, I believe you, babe, whatever. And then you find out they actually did cheat on you. And it's like, Well, hang on a minute. This sixth sense that you have,
it's real.
It's real, okay? It's so real. You need to believe what your body is telling you, okay? I've had it before. I'm going to give you an example, okay? I went a while ago, probably a year ago now. Anyway, I went to start a new job, okay? Went to start this new job in London. And anyway, I turned up there, first day. I got in there and I had this really bad feeling, horrible feeling, okay? And I was still working at my current job at the time. I didn't tell them that I had an interview, if you like. I didn't tell them I had an interview at another job. So I just went and done it, told them I was sick or whatever, in case it didn't go well.
Yeah. As you do. You have to be like that in business.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so I turn up at this job. You know, I just had this dreadful feeling across my whole body for the whole day. You know, and I'm with this other person as well, and he's like, nah, like, we should do it. I think we'll do all right. We'll make more money on this job. Anyway, I had this fucking horrible feeling all day. I said to him, look, I said, I don't feel right about doing this. I don't want to do it. I said, I'm going to go back to the other job. I prefer that, and I can already tell well I've been here.
Yeah.
Anyway, went back to the other job, carried on, found out 2.5 weeks later, that whole company went bust. So even if I'd have done it, I wouldn't have got paid for however long I was there. So like a couple of weeks after, the company went bust, no more work. So yeah.
And that's 100%. I can relate to that because look, I'll tell you, this is another story, right? I kind of went through something similar, right? And I remember went to this place. It was it was like a sales job, and I met I knew a couple of the guys who worked there. One of them I knew very, very well, like very, very well. You know who he is, but I'm not going to say on camera. Went to the job, went to the office, right? Yeah. Had a meeting with the owner of the place, right? Yeah. And maybe this is me being sort of shallow in a way, but the guy's like, it was on a Saturday or Saturday or Sunday. So the office was closed, but he was there doing paperwork, whatever. He was in charge of this company. And he's there. I'm in like a pretty decent, I'm well dressed, put it this way. Now, I'm not wearing a tie. I'm not wearing a sort of classical job interview suit because I had someone on the inside who I knew. I already had this sort of leverage, and the guy already knew me. He wanted me to come, and I was almost doing the interview to him. I was almost interviewing him, seeing if I should risk going there. Right?
Okay, yeah.
And this was last year, and I'm there. I'm in a white suit, like straight out of Scarface. Like that's the way I was dressed, and I went out afterwards, right? But I've gone there and I had this weird feeling from the guy. He was in a suit and he had like these trainers as well. And I was sort of looking at him and I thought like, you don't look good. Like you haven't had a haircut. You look stubbly, but not in a fresh way. Like, and I just felt like this vibe. Like you say, sixth sense. Like someone told me something's not like, and it wasn't, he wasn't the problem in the end, but someone told me something's wrong with this place. Anyway, I said, okay, I'll come in. I'll come in 2 weeks. I was about to go away. And I said, when I come back from my overseas visit, I'll do a day with you. I'll test it out. Anyway, I show up and I'm there in the morning. They do this sort of prep team meeting. Okay, let's go get it. Make sure the sales talking about this. And he does a meeting with his team. He actually takes the job very seriously. He is very much like getting them all pumped up.
You're a boss.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Anyway, then they're talking about this girl's late. This girl's late. She's late. I can't remember her name, but it was an ugly name. Just an ugly girl's name. Anyway. Then they say, oh, she's here. She's downstairs. We got to wait for her before we get going. The girl was a man. It was a transgender. It was a transgender. Then I remember thinking, okay, I see that and I think, okay, I'm not staying here. There is zero. I don't care how today goes. I don't care how well I do. I don't care how well I get on with everyone here. Yep. I don't care if there's fucking 200 grand to be made next week. I'm not staying here out of principle. But then he addressed the man who had an Adam's apple, like fucking, literally, it looked like a fucking nose sticking out of there. It was literally fucking fat and he'd shaved. You could tell he's one of that. He has to clean shave every morning. This guy had the best beard you've ever seen. From here, like an Arab man. Yep. Clean shaven. You could see the 5 o'clock shadow type thing. And then, anyway, so when I saw the boss who I had the meeting with refer to that man as a she, that's when I thought, yep, I was right. And it wasn't what I thought. I was thinking he's sloppy. He's not. Yeah. And when on the actual Monday, he was dressed sharp, good suit, good tie, clean shoes. You could see your reflection. But the point is that I could sense there was something wrong. There was something wrong, and I was correct. And listen,
you need to.
And you said about the relationship styles. That's the relationship
very
point.
True.
Women have a sixth sense better than men.
Yeah, if you have a woman, especially with relationships.
If you have a woman say you're just here for pussy, you don't take me seriously, and you think,
how does she know?
And listen,
can you see in my mind?
Yeah, no, listen. Women will have a sixth sense. I'm not saying that they make decisions. I'm not saying they make good decisions based off of that. Like,
but they have it very, very.
A woman will often know, but they'll still get taken for a mug. I'm not saying that, but they have a good sixth sense, and men do too. But not as good as women. So actually, I just want to use this point to say, well done to women. You're lucky that God or whoever, the universe has given you this sixth sense, and it is 100% real. So I think women can relate to that.
But the reality is, you're always... So I'm going to go into it a bit more scientific. No, it's not scientific. Anyway, but the reality is, all the decisions you make during the day, 90% of them are done by your subconscious mind, okay? Yep. 10% are done by your front part of your brain, okay? And that's your thinking part, the stuff where your thoughts come in your head. And basically, in schools, throughout life, you're taught about how, your front part, you're always using your front part of your brain, okay? To do maths scenarios, whatever, okay? Speaking, etc. But the reality is, like I said, all the decisions come from the back part of your brain, which are initially, subconscious. They come from within. They either come from within, but they are already programmed into you, okay? And they're programmed into you from the ages of 1 to 7. And I don't know if you know this. Well, I'm sure you can remember, but when you were a kid, you want to... your mum's fucking broomstick and you're thinking it's a horse or whatever. Your imagination is going wild, everything's fucking amazing, okay? This is because your brain is it's called a theta state of mind, and it's self-hypnosis, okay? Yeah. And through them ages, it's like a computer. Imagine a computer, okay? When you buy a brand new computer, you open it, you load it up, and you got to put programming on it to use it. When you're born, it's the same thing. Through the first 1 to 7 years, you're fresh. Imagine it like a computer. Your brain's fresh. You don't know anything. It's a sponge, okay? And that's why your imagination is so profound, because you're in this self-hypnotic state. Yeah. And you're absorbing everything, and it's where you literally download all this information. And once you've downloaded it all, that's it. You've downloaded that information now. And the only way to sort of re-download new information is through repetition. Okay, so say, for example, driving a car. You don't know how to drive a car, but you can still learn to drive a car through repetition. Yeah. Okay, it's the same thing. And another way to do it, apparently I heard this, I'm not sure how true it is, but I'm pretty sure it is true, because the person explaining it was like a science fucking expert. Anyway, so when you're asleep, so just before you fall into sleep, your brain falls into this self-hypnotic state, okay? And they reckon if you listen to whatever programming you want before you go to sleep or as you're going to sleep, say, for example, you want to, I don't know,
learn French, for
example. Yeah. If you do that during, obviously you're going to do it through repetition as well, but if you play that while you're going through this self-hypnotic state, when you're falling asleep, you will progress massively. Yeah,
I've actually heard of that, because I'll tell you a story. I actually tried to learn French. Now, I'm not going to sit and say I quit, because I'm not a quitter, and one day I will know a little bit. I'll know a little bit, right?
Bonjour.
So that? Oh, I don't even know. That's not even it. But anyways, I tried learning French, and you know what? That is 100% true. At night time, I tried to listen to it before I went to sleep. The issue was that I would just fall asleep too quick. I put it on too late. I was too tired. But what you said is true. Listen, you know how it is. A young kid can learn 5 languages. Yeah. You learn these things.
They're downloading all this information. Exactly. And it's like, if you give a little kid, for example, you give him, I don't know, a cup, like an empty cup. He'll pretend to drink fucking tea out of it, and he'll be like, "This is the best cup of tea ever." But that's his imagination. I can remember it when I was a kid. My imagination was fucking. You've got snippets and memories of your imagination, and you just think, where has that gone? It hasn't gone anywhere. That's just the information being downloaded into your mind. Okay, that is literally the programming being put into your brain.
Yeah, your brain is a program. Like, your body is a temple, and your brain is like a fucking computer software. It is.
Yeah.
You can tap into it. You can alter it. You can make upgrades. You can put a virus in there. Right? Yeah. Sometimes there's going to be an actual virus. There's a reason that when you think about like software and stuff, there's a reason that all the words for it are linked to the human body. It's like, oh, there's a virus. There's a computer virus. The same way you might have something wrong with your brain suddenly. You know, it's complex. The human brain is actually complex, and human behavior, the sort of pattern recognition, it's all complex. And yeah, you can, again, it's almost like you said about being sold. What I said about being sold. We're having a conversation. You need to be in control, actually.
No, but the thing is,
what comes into your brain.
I'm not saying that you can't be reprogrammed or you can't add new information. What I'm saying is you need look at it like a computer. It's really like important. Like you said, if you get a virus, I don't know, bad thoughts, whatever, on a computer you can remove it, can't you? With a certain software, it's the same with your mind. You can remove it. You just need to know how to do it. That's the main issue. Yeah, knowing how to do it and like reprogramming it, adding more programming to progress better.
And when it comes to like, and this is actually what I was thinking, when it comes to you being programmed from a young age, I think, or even just being programmed once you get older, I think that's how a lot of people have been programmed into thinking, and this is more of a social issue, but programmed into thinking that the UK or the West as a general is racist. Because this is actually something I think...
Because you've
been taught from a young age that people are racist. So subconsciously, you think that everyone's racist until proven otherwise. White people. You think all white people are racist until proven otherwise. So when you then start thinking everything's racist, right? So when you may see someone you may come across a rude guy. He's just a rude guy.
Yep.
And let's just say he's white, so then you think he's racist automatically. He barges into you and you're a black guy and he doesn't say sorry. You think, oh, he's just a racist. Or he's rude to you. He doesn't say thank you. Or you nod your head and he just gives you a dirty look. Like, you then think it's racism because you've been programmed into believing that. Yeah. And when you said about like not necessarily being programmed, you're not programmable. Well, you are if you're not aware of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I could easily be programmed if I wasn't so
aware of what's going on.
I could easily be sold if I wasn't aware of the fact that people are trying to sell me stuff. You know.
Yeah.
You really need to be
mindful.
I don't know what the word is. I guess perspicacious about the fact. Yeah, mindful, whatever word you want to use. Like, about the fact that you are even though when you're a kid you're a sponge, right? But as you get older, if you let your guard down, you are still a sponge, and you can really be programmed. And I don't necessarily just mean about like evil people, but just in general. You know, like, that's the way you have to think about it. So yeah, so it's a good point.
It's a very interesting subject to talk about.
Well, look,
very difficult one.
There's something I was thinking about. Maybe you could help me out.
Go on.
Because I was thinking about something, but I was sort of wondering why this sort of phrase has been being thrown about for the last sort of 3-4 years. And that's climate change.
Well, before it was global cooling, then it was global warming.
What is climate change?
Climate change includes all of them.
What actually is what happened to global warming?
I spoke to my granddad about this, and he was saying,
"What the? No, you guys watching? What the fuck happened to global warming? Why have we changed the name?"
No, this is what I'm going to get into. But when I was chatting to my granddad about this, you know, he was going into one about it. To be fair, and he was saying, you know, back when he was younger. The news articles were saying global cooling. Okay, this is what they were first coming out with, and then he was saying nobody sort of believed it, and then they changed it. So then they tried this other narrative, which was global warming, which is completely different. Obviously, you got global cooling.
That's what you grew up on, global warming. Yeah.
Yeah, and now climate change is like all of them included. Not that I believe anyway, because I don't believe that anybody with a fucking PhD or whatever, I don't care what degree you've done. I don't believe that you can tell me in 50 fucking thousand years time that the world's gonna, you know, go into a ball of flames. You can't tell me that. Nobody can tell me that, okay? And it's just a really interesting subject because it's just difficult.
This is the way I
don't know what to believe and what not to believe. I think
the reason I was thinking why, but maybe you can help me, maybe you guys can comment, right?
Why are they changing it?
The reason I think they've changed it is because, like you said, if you say global warming, they'll say bullshit. They'll say it's fucking freezing out here. Tell that to the guy, right? On a fucking building site in fucking January. He ain't gonna say, he's gonna say, fuck me, it weren't this cold last year. Do you know what I'm saying? And so you can't say global warming. And when you say global cooling, well, you're going to have something on the news. Well, technically, this was the hottest year on average reported in the last 50 years. And then, well, we can go into that because then you say, well, so you're saying before 50 years, it was hot. Okay, so then it actually is getting colder and colder and colder. Now it's warming up a little bit. But here's the way I look at it. If you say climate change, well, then they can avoid the question when you start asking for specific details on what exactly they're talking about.
But the reality is the Earth is such a diverse place. And I mean the planet as a whole. There's going to be places in the world that one year, you know, it might be a little bit warmer. It might be a little bit colder 10 years' time. Yeah. It's not because, you know, you're fucking driving your diesel car or whatever. It's not because of that or because you're eating too much meat. It's just because it's such a diverse ecosystem. So diverse. Like, things happen. Things will change. You might go to the Sahara one day and it's fucking raining.
Yeah.
Well, for example. I know it doesn't rain often, but it might be raining. It's not because of fucking climate change. It's just because that happens. That's the cycle. And that's just what happens in the universe and this ecosystem.
Listen, it used to be warm on my birthday. My birthday's in August. It used to be fucking warm. That was it. It was August. My birthday was warm. The last 3-4 fucking birthdays, it's been cold and shitty weather. Yeah. You want to tell me about global warming and they're going to say, oh, well, actually, our studies show this, that, and the other. No, I don't believe your studies. And even if I did, this is the thing. Even if I did, so you want me to fucking turn the heating off? You want me to stop? You want me to buy your electric car? No, I don't want to. Stop forcing me to do it. You're not forcing China to do it. You're not forcing Russia to do it. You're not forcing India to do it. So what difference does it make? Plus, let's remember, the whole climate of this earth is governed by the sun. You can't control the sun. If the sun fucking coughs, burps, hiccups, we're dead. The sun is in control. People say, like, you know, fuck the ozone, not fuck the ozone, but forget about all of that. It is the sun. The sun is out there doing its fucking thing. We're not going to control that. So don't try to tell us that it's getting much, much hotter when one, it fucking isn't. And two, even if you could prove to me beyond reasonable doubt to the point that I completely believe you, I'm still not going to fucking change. But let me guess. In 20 years, I drive my diesel car. You're going to throw me in the nick? You're going to put me in a cell? 100% going to happen.
We can also, you know, if you really want to jump down the rabbit hole, okay, we're talking about climate change and weather. You know, you were saying it was raining a lot more in your birthday. It wasn't as hot as it normally is.
Yep.
Okay. If you really want to jump down the rabbit hole, we can go into how, you know, the weather is actually manipulated, okay? You can go into, like, chemtrails. And, right, if you're watching this now and you're listening, what I want you to do, go on YouTube, type in Jeremy Clarkson weather machine, okay? And at the top, the first video, it will say Top Gear NASA makes their own rain clouds, okay? I don't know if you've seen this video, but I'll show you after, okay? They literally can fucking make rain.
Yeah.
They make rain, okay? NASA, this was fucking... Look how young Jeremy Clarkson
He looks... Any of you can't see. He looks fucking 30.
He is so young, okay? This was ages ago that they were doing this.
Oh, maybe not 30, but he's young.
Yeah. They've been manipulating weather for a very long time. If you want to go down that rabbit hole, you know, you've got the chemtrails and stuff, if you know about them.
Mm.
So you can also say, is it them manipulating the weather to make you believe that climate change is actually happening?
You are a conspiracy theorist.
But
like that's what you are. You're a conspiracy theorist. That's what they're going to say.
Do I believe it? Like I'm pretty non-biased with a lot of subjects. I try and sit on the fence with everything. I don't try and jump on one side or the other. You know, there's some things that I genuinely believe, and then there's a lot of stuff that I'll look at a few topics, a few theories, for example, and I'll go, which one makes the most sense? And, I'll never sort of be like, that's for sure, that's definitely happened. I try and always sit on the fence with things, except with the COVID scenario. I know that was bullshit, definitely, completely.
Yeah, but look, let's just roll with the fact, right? Because you have to really think about the solution. They're good at diagnosing, global warming, climate change, whatever that means. Let's just say it means global warming, because that's really what they're trying to say. But when you say global warming, everyone says we don't give a fuck, right? So they say climate change, as if change is necessarily a bad thing. The climate's been changing at all times. So that's the first point. But even if they're 100% right, what they're basically saying is you need to lower your standard of life, and we need to make your life misery, and for the sake of the people in the future whose lives are still going to be miserable.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So you need to live shitty.
But we'll live really
Your
nicely.
kids need to live shitty. Your grandkids need to live shitty.
We'll fly around in jets.
But we have to talk about climate change with the fucking German, Swedish little fucking girl, whoever the fuck, the Thunberg girl, Greta,
Thunberg,
right? So unfortunately, we're going to need to send 3 jets of our people and then get picked up in Range Rovers and taken to the meeting.
And we're going to eat loads of meat.
Because there's no way that we could have a discussion without flying all the way over.
Internet,
We can't have a discussion without flying over to talk to fucking Greta Thunberg. Or she can't make her point, right? Through any connection to the outside world.
It's not that we have the internet.
Without flying to the United States. There's nothing she can do to communicate.
She can't jump on Skype. She can't jump on Zoom.
We're waiting for someone to invent some sort of object that we can talk from one place, from 2 different locations.
You can't send a letter even.
No.
It's that serious. You need to get on a jet right now.
We can't send a letter.
Fly over
we can't send a letter
straight to our house
because we can't keep cutting down trees. So fuel up the jet. I'm on my way. It's fucking ridiculous. And let me tell you this. I was thinking about how there could be a possibility. Well, no, actually, no. I wasn't thinking. I was listening to a podcast and people were, throwing theories out there, right? About how there's going to be a supposed 15-mile radius that you're not allowed to leave without paying whatever the fuck. You got to buy
15-minute cities.
Yeah, 15. Yeah, that sort of stuff, right? And then I was thinking, well, if that was true, there's still going to be contact. People are still going to be moving about.
Yeah,
and it's going to be politicians.
Yeah, right? They'll be allowed to.
They'll
go from district to district, if you like.
Like this is the thing.
Be like the fucking Hunger Games.
Exactly. No, it will be. There'll be districts and this and that. And why is it that the people maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like all the people who preach climate change, global warming, cut down on fossil fuels, cut down on fucking pollution, all of this shit, carbon, whatever the fuck, right? They're flying on private jets. Oh, well, it's for my safety. Yeah. I'm so famous.
So important.
I'm so famous and important that people are going to keep asking for my picture, so I have to fly on this private jet with 2 other people. It's fucking ridiculous. If you're preaching this and you fly a private jet, fucking shut the fuck up. Please. Because, and this is the thing, this isn't me dissing you. This is me trying to spare you the embarrassment of being a public hypocrite. Do you understand? Anyone who does this is literally contradicting themselves the day
Bill
later.
Gates.
How did you get to the press conference where you spoke nationally?
That should be the first question.
The first question is, okay, how did you get here?
And if they don't say walk, run, or bicycle...
Yes. What bike did you ride? Other than Joe Biden, because he'll fall off, obviously.
But no, I just want to say, I was saying about the Hunger Games. Basically, I thought this was really interesting, but it was just a little thought that come to my head. Basically, if you've seen the Hunger Games, have you seen it or not?
I did see it. Yeah.
Okay, but basically,
Catch and Fire.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, I've seen one of the films or whatever. Anyway, about the districts and stuff. Anyway, the people at the top, the capital, they dress really fucking weird. They have this really weird dress sense.
Yeah.
And these are the people at the very top, like the ones in charge. Okay, and I just thought for a second, like, you know, like the fucking Sam Smith thing. Let's like, you know, when he dresses up like that.
How close is it?
How close is it? And like, why are they fucking? It's sort of similar because all these pop stars and stuff dress in these fucking ridiculous outfits.
I think Sam Smith's sexy.
He is good looking.
No, listen, he's a degenerate, disgusting
human being,
disgusting man. I mean, listen.
Ugh.
But you're right.
It's disgusting. No, I just wanted to throw that out there as a little point. That's all it is.
What I will say, right, is that people talk about these sort of dystopian futures. There's a reason that people actually come up with these theories. Like, people write a film. Like, okay, let me write this movie about a dystopian future where the elites are in charge and everyone else is living in poverty. Like, they have the idea somewhere. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we're not talking about gremlins here. They ain't talking about gremlins. They're not talking about advanced technology. They are simply talking about the future. And it just so happens that anyone with logic and reason comes up with the same idea.
And these are the people that have a lot of power. These people that are, you know, involved.
Hollywood executives.
Hollywood executives, directors. They are people with extreme amounts of power. Yeah. And to the people funding their companies, telling them to make these movie ideas, who are they? That's another question to go into.
It's crazy. I think they're almost showing it. They're going to call us conspiracy theorists. And we're just because we're just
throwing out ideas.
You're drinking whiskey. That's why. No, the reality is, I think maybe you disagree. You might not even agree, but they're almost rubbing it in your face. See, look, they're almost showing you.
Yeah, before it happens.
Because isn't that what they do?
Yeah, satanic.
The
ritual.
Satanic. It's like they have to show. They sort of show, leave a little breadcrumb trail.
They can't. They have to tell you before they do something. Otherwise, it's like sort of dishonest.
Yeah, it's like, we warned you.
Yeah, basically, they sort of give you. It's like hints, isn't it? For example, it's like the thing with the vaccine. They never forced you to take something. They just sort of give you this idea. You know, take it, but they sort of coerce you into doing it. It's like the Balenciaga thing. They're telling you already they're into paedophilia because they've got some fucking teddy bear with bondage gear on. But they're not actually telling you, if that makes sense. It's subliminal messaging. And if they don't do that, then it's sort of against their belief system. They haven't given you the opportunity to opt out, if you like.
Yeah, 100%.
And you're okay with it and you're going along with it.
Yeah, they are relying on compliance and stupidity and naivety. You know, listen, they literally rely on you to be fucking stupid. And I just thank God that I have my own opinion, and I'm sort of got my guards and wits about me for now.
Yeah, I want to go back to sort of the sixth sense topic and how I don't know if anybody else has had this, but I'm going to tell you something that happened to me a while ago. Anyway, so I was watching this thing on Netflix. Okay, this series called Physical 100. I'll tell you about it anyway. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty good actually. But basically, I was watching it, and I haven't spoken to. I don't speak to my auntie often, okay, and she lives abroad somewhere. Never really speak to her. Well, I do speak to her, but you know, it's one of them aunties you speak to every couple of months or something. Anyway, I was sat there watching this, and I had this thought. Go on, just a little bit more, please, mate. Yeah,
drink more.
Drink more.
Drink fucking whiskey, people.
I had this thought, and I thought my auntie's gonna really like this for some reason. Maybe that's because I know her or whatever. This thought come into my head. Anyway, the next day, I was going to message her about it, but I never ended up doing it because I sort of forgot. Anyway, the next day, I get a message. I open my phone in the morning because she's different time zone. And it was a message from her saying, have you seen anything interesting on Netflix recently? Okay, and think about this, right? What are the probabilities of her saying that to me? And the thing is, if she normally messages me or whatever, she would say, how you doing, George? What have you been up to?
Yeah, that's creepy.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's not
drinking to that.
Drinking to that. She would never randomly just say, oh, have you seen anything good on Netflix? Because I've never actually spoken to her about anything on Netflix or anything before. And I just sat there and I was really like, wow. Like, what the fuck? What are the probabilities of that happening? Like, I probably have more chance of fucking winning the lottery twice in a row. Do you know what I'm saying? And like tying into this, it's like it's sort of. I feel like there's this weird communication going on that you don't know about. This frequencies going on around the world, like energy that you can't almost see.
I think maybe we have to accept the fact, you know what I'm going to say? We're in a simulation.
Yeah.
We're in a simulation. And listen, if we're in a simulation, then that means nothing matters.
No,
it means we have nothing to lose. No, but it means we have nothing to lose. And if we all have nothing to lose, then that means you guys watching have nothing to lose. Right? You have nothing to lose. So there's no consequences. Nothing bad can happen, which means you might as well just go for it. Just go for it. Right? And the first thing you need to do, knowing now that you have nothing to lose, is you need to go on Instagram and you need to follow Centerpiece UK. Right? And you need to follow Centerpiece UK. You need to like this video.
Subscribe.
Right? Quick plug-in. I hope you like the transition into the plug-in. Right? Because we're sat here, we're speaking facts, we're having a conversation too, we're having a good time. Yeah. We're having a good time, right? But we're day drinking for you. We're day drinking for you. So we need to make it worth our while. And we need to make sure that enough people are seeing this content so that the message can spread and hopefully people open their eyes, or also just have a good time and walk away knowing things. At least we're informing you on things. Maybe you disagree with every single thing we've said, but you've learned a couple things. We've dropped a few little facts.
Little gems.
You know the UK's in a recession now.
Yeah.
Maybe the news didn't tell you, but you know it now. So for that reason alone, I think you should hit that like button. If whatever platform you're watching this on, you might be watching this on TikTok, you might be watching this on YouTube, you might be watching this on Rumble, you're probably watching it on YouTube, but even so, make it worth the while. Spread it about, share it. You have nothing to lose, we're in a simulation. And you also got nothing to lose, so you need to drink whiskey. Drink up, and I suggest go to the gym as soon as you finish this episode, if you have not already.
Or listen to it in the gym.
Yeah, listen to this in the gym. Listen, you have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. Cancel your plans tonight and go to the fucking gym. That advice alone is worth subscriptions.
And yeah, just tying into what James has said. If anybody, I know we've said it before, but I'm going to mention it again in case there's any new listeners. If you're still watching this and potentially you've got an interesting story, you know, you've got something that you believe, maybe it's a wild conspiracy theorist that you believe, and you want to share it, you know, you want to make it public, you've been doing immense amounts of research on it and you're really sure that is true, come to us. Give me and James a message. Message us on Instagram, the Whiskey and Wisdom podcast itself on Instagram. Comment on the YouTube with your email, whatever, and we'll drop you an email, we'll drop you a message, and we'd love to hear it. And like I said, we are so diverse. We would love to hear it. It can be...
You may hate our guts.
Yeah.
But we're open for conversation.
Completely. You could be a fucking transgender, whatever the fuck, transition to an elephant, whatever you are. Just come on, we'd like to have a discussion with you. Sort of see how you view the world, okay? Talking about viewing the world as well, I'm going to touch on something that I thought was really strange, and I don't know, it makes you sort of look at the world in a different light, okay?
Before you say that...
Yep, go on.
This sounds like it's going to need some thinking. It's going to sound like this is an interesting conversation. I might need to think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my thinking hat. I'm going to put on my thinking hat for this conversation.
Put on the thinking hat, mate. Okay. Anyway, so basically, what I want to say is I was chatting to another relative of mine, and they're from the UAE, Dubai to be specific. Anyway, they've recently come over to the UK, and they're living over in the UK. Anyway, they were talking to me, you know, we were just having a normal conversation, and he was saying how he likes going out walking because over there they don't really go out because it's fucking boiling hot, and you know, over there a lot of the time you get driven around, okay? And obviously we in the UK you walk quite a lot of places, you know, you might walk down the high street, whatever. Okay, obviously they do, but it will be in a shopping mall, etc. Anyway, he was saying he's finding it really difficult to walk down the pavement and cross roads. Okay, and this is where it comes down to the programming, and you'll hear the story and you'll realise what I said before is true. So he was saying, I'm finding it really difficult to, you know, make the judgment between crossing a road and the speed of a car. Yeah. And it only then just clicked to me, because obviously we take it for granted. You know, your mum might have taken you out and stopped you at the side of the road and said, look, little James, when should we cross the road? When's best? You know, they never sort of done that because they were always driven around, always sort of, they never walked down a path of the road next to it. They never sort of had to. Obviously, you know, they've got traffic light systems and stuff. I'm not saying he's never fucking walked on a road.
He's not like fucking autistic. He's,
But what I'm saying is, when you say, for example, you in the UK, you're walking down a busy road, you're going to a fucking pub, whatever, you've got to cross the road. You haven't got a traffic light system. Okay, you've got to cross a roundabout, whatever. You need this sort of programming that you don't even realise that you have. Okay, and he not struggling, if you like, but he was saying it's just sort of different, where he's never had to do it.
Yeah, he's come over here, then now he's sort of looking at his own, like, he's thinking about like his sort of pattern recognition.
Yeah,
and he isn't used to crossing the road in a way, like the same way.
Yeah, completely. Like, it's completely.
If he crosses the road, he's probably just doesn't even think about it.
But you imagine the paths and stuff in Dubai, like they might be a lot wider, whatever. You've got some narrow paths in the UK, don't you? You might be walking down some narrow path and there'll be fucking cars whizzing past you at 30, 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, but it's the same in the US. You ever spoken to someone from the United States and they say, like, you guys drive so fast over here, and it's like, what? Fast? We're going 70. Oh, well, it's all 50 over here. Yeah, it's like, listen, you are programmed and you do get used to things, but
you take it for granted so much. You don't even realise. And he was also saying that basically in Dubai, for example, there's a desert. Okay, so there's nothing's like grown naturally. Okay, everything's artificial. Plants are artificial. Everything, grass is like put there basically. And the reality is, if they couldn't get water, they would literally just shrivel up. Everything's imported, if you like. If everything wasn't imported, they stopped all the imports. Dubai would just shrivel up and it would just be gone. It would become a desert again. Okay, at least in the UK, he was saying I really enjoy like seeing wildlife and stuff. Okay, because he's never seen like something so simple. He's never seen like the transition of a season, for example. Yeah. You know when you look outside and the leaves are falling off. He's like so like sort of amazed by the fact that like this actually happens. It's not some just fucking artificial tree that's been put there by a man. It's just grown naturally through the fucking ground. And it's like he's like obviously he's a smart person, but you just think like you take all that for granted and you don't even realise like we were saying something about like a fucking, I don't know, like an apple tree, for example, and it'd be like, that's just so amazing that fucking apples, like you can see it growing on a tree, and it's like they don't see that shit. They just get it out of the fucking shop.
Well, this is what I was actually thinking about this in a way, like, because I was thinking about how I was walking through sort of like the woods and it was dark, and obviously, look, when I walk about, I've always sort of got my guard up. I don't know why.
Yeah, vigilant.
But you know, just like I'm always aware of my surroundings to the point. But I hear rustling in the bushes, right? And I don't think much of it because I think, okay, it's a fox, badger, fucking squirrel. What the fuck else is it going to be? We're in England, right? Hedgehogs don't make that many. What the fuck is it? Right? Nothing. But I was thinking, Jesus, imagine if I was in some parts of North America. Or in Australia. Imagine if I was in Alaska. That could be a fucking bear.
Yeah.
I'd get fucking mauled to pieces without even realising it because I'm so fucking naive and stupid that I wouldn't have had my guard up in that way.
No, but then somebody from Alaska...
It makes you think about like how, like you said, but not like it's like programmable, but also just get used to the
your
patterns.
surroundings.
It's the same way. Yeah. How often do you just reach for your phone even if it's not in your pocket?
Yeah.
It's just like boom. Yeah, like we are trained.
Yeah.
Like we are programmed, and like you say, once you get, it takes a lot of time. It will take a lot of time in America for you to get used to thinking, oh, that could be a bear, that could be a fucking mountain lion. Do you know what I mean? Like 100%, 100%.
Yeah, like you said, it's such a great point about you saying, you know, how if you were walking, you would get attacked by a mountain lion or a bear, for example. They would probably come over to the UK, walk through the woods in the UK.
They'd have their guard
like that.
No, they'd have their guard up.
What's that noise?
It's like you see someone who's just come out of prison or say like they're different.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? They're different. Like you change. You know, it's the way it is.
No, it's just really interesting to see things through another person's eyes that are completely different as well. Like I said, it was really nice for him to say that and me be like, fucking hell, like maybe it is actually like really nice because I've always seen it. I'm used to that shit. You take it for granted.
But like, guess who else takes it for granted? The people we're talking about at the beginning of the conversation about people who hate this country, who take it for granted, and you think, well, hang on a minute, you're fucking safe.
But you've got water and a food and a roof over your head.
It's easy. It's easy. It's like a winner. It's like no, but it's the same. You could put that to anything. It's like a winner, right? How many like you get these people who are used to winning, or some rich kid who's used to getting what he wants,
and then they don't get what they want.
One tiny, it's the end of the world.
Yeah,
you have to be. I don't know what the word. I don't even know what I'm trying to say.
No, I know exactly what you're trying to say.
Understand.
Yeah.
The shit changes.
Everything
understand
changes.
where you are,
going
who
on.
you are. You're in this country, this is going on. You're in that country, that's going on. You're part of this family, you might get rewards. You're part of that family, you might have to go get it on your own. You know, like, yeah, it's interesting. Life in general is really interesting.
Yeah.
To me,
and I think a lot of people sort of see the world in a negative light, okay? And they're seeing everything going on, it's negative, all the news is negative, everyone hates everything, you hate everything, your life's miserable. And just be positive about the world, you know what I mean? Be positive about the people around you. Like, for example, me, I'm fucking positive that I met this fella. I'm positive that I met my other friends. Be positive about them. Have a better outlook on life. Don't think that fucking the government are going to take over, you know? You're not going to have a life in 10 years because you're putting out this fucking negative input. No, negative output, sorry. You're putting it out into the fucking universe, okay? You need to be putting good things out into the universe because then you attract even better things.
I don't want to sound like some weirdo
hippie
with a fucking... I don't want to sound like a hippie.
No, like that's what I'm not trying to get at.
I don't want to sound like a stoner, but energy is real.
No,
energy is real.
Completely real.
We've already established that the sixth sense is real.
Yeah.
We've already now.
I'm not trying to get into the hippie thing, but this is.
But it is true. It's true. It's true. But like energy is real, but also. You create energy and don't like again if there's negativity that doesn't mean you have to be affected.
No,
you know, like it's a hard it's complex. It's a complex situation. The whole idea, like I said before, the whole idea of life, civilization, it's all crazy. And you start talking about it and
you have a few whiskeys.
Yeah, you have a few whiskeys and then suddenly your
mind's going mad.
It's a mind fuck. Yeah. It's a mind fuck.
No, but it's like you were talking about the simulation, right? Let's get into this one. I'm gonna chat about this. So you imagine the world like everything's on a frequency. So we're sort of imagine us at the minute. Yeah, you're on imagine like a radio. Okay, so at the minute we are tuned into fucking 64.3. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what you can see. That's your fucking smell, your taste, your eyes, your hearing, okay?
Yeah.
But there's so many other things going on around you. All you need to do is just twist that little fucking knob a tiny, tiny bit and you change the frequency. So what I'm trying to get at is there's so much going on around you that you don't even see. Like we're talking about the energy, for example. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there.
Yeah, it's
you're just not on that fucking frequency.
Let me go right into this.
Yeah, go on.
How possible, like how likely do you genuinely think that is that we are in some sort of simulation?
I don't know. I think it's
if we were, if someone said this is a simulation, but this is it forever, would it really change the way you behave?
No, because the reality is you're still living in that simulation.
Because what else is a simulation? A game. Games are like simulations. Yeah. Really, you know. It's I don't know if simulation is the right word, but like a game, like a game just on your phone or your Xbox.
You're playing like a fucking first-person character in a game.
Like that's not real.
Yeah.
Right. But it is like in that world. It is in a way like right. So the way I see it, like is like that's kind of thinking. I'm trying to get my point across properly. But if you think that life is a simulation in a way, then you're kind of coming across like a lot of successful people do, which is that life is a game and you got to play it well.
Yeah, play it to your best abilities.
Like, this is a simulation. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Fuck it, it's a game. Whatever it is, there's a way to get to the top. There's a way to win. There's a way to outperform everybody else. So, does it really matter if it is or isn't?
No, you still need to do the things you want to do. But getting into that,
maybe the whiskey. I think the whiskey was speaking just then. I was trying to articulate my point. So,
but the reality is, if it is a simulation, then you need to realise that knowledge is power, and the more you know about the game, the better you can do inside the game. So knowledge is. Don't ever think that you know everything. It's really like I have it sometimes. I'm sure you have it. You feel like you sort of, you're doing all right. Maybe you're doing all right for yourself. or whatever, you feel like you're getting somewhere. Don't ever feel like that there's nothing more to learn. Okay, there's always more things to learn, and don't sort of be in this narrow mindset of, when somebody says, like when I was talking about the frequency in the radio station, don't ever think, that's fucking stupid. Listen to my point, listen to somebody else talk about it. Maybe somebody can articulate it, maybe somebody has a more diverse opinion on it. Listen to them and think, then make your decision about it, and then sort of come to your own conclusion about it.
Yeah, and stop thinking the world revolves around you. I was kind of thinking about something the other day. I think I saw, I don't know where it was, but I saw something, and it was have you ever seen the movie Step Brothers?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure everyone has, right?
Put your balls on my drum kit.
Yeah, right? It's a good film, right? So you got the guy, Will Ferrell, right? And he's got the brother who's rich with the family, and they're singing in the car, right? And I was thinking about how in that movie, he's like the more loved brother. So you got the two bums, they're two dossers, and then he's the guy who does something with life, and he's like the favourite. Yeah. And the way the film sort of paints this picture, one, they make him an arsehole, right? But, like, we're supposed to not like him for some reason. Like, and the stepdad, so the fat guy with the curly hair, his dad is obviously with Will Ferrell's mum, and he likes him more than he likes Will Ferrell. And I was thinking, when I was younger, I was thinking, well, why do they like him more? That's not fair. And then I started thinking, well, actually, hang on a minute. Why wouldn't they like him more? He's fucking, he seems to be rich. Yeah. He's selling houses. He's, in a Range Rover. He's balling. And you've got these two bums. And this is obviously changing the topic a little bit. But it's sort of about like what you sort of expect to get back from the universe. So many people are upset or think it's not fair that they're not the most loved brother, or he's the favourite, blah, blah, blah. Like, become the fucking favourite. Be a winner. Perform. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, no one complains that, I don't know, I always say, Cristiano Ronaldo is the favourite, or whatever. Because he's the best. Because he's good. Like, if you're good at things,
he's earned that title.
This is what I'm saying. Like, so many people, my dad don't show me respect. Really? Because if you were balling, I bet he fucking would.
And you start smoking weed.
If you had a six-pack and you weren't coming home stoned every day, even like, let's say you're 18, you come home, you're stoned every night, obviously they don't respect you and your brother's the favourite. You're the black sheep for a reason. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's a really interesting point.
Like, I know it's kind of going off topic, but I really saw it, and straight away I was thinking, you know what? That's such a, like, why did I think that it was unfair that brother got more love? Okay, yeah, maybe they wrote him as a bit of an arsehole, but obviously, if you're fucking a bum, if you're a bum and your brother's a baller and has a wife and kids, he's going to be the favourite. Sorry to say it. Right? Sorry to say it, but you earn your likability.
You earn the title.
You earn the respect. Everyone knows respect is earned. Likability is earned. Like, it's all the same. Do you know what I'm saying? So people need to stop feeling sorry for themselves and stop assuming that people are going to respect them or like them or treat them well. Right? Because let me tell you something. If you're worthy of it, they will. Doesn't matter who it is. If you're worthy of respect, you'll get it. Okay? So, and I don't just mean financially, but there's things you can do now. But whilst you're trying to make the money, there's things you can do to get that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, people say, and this is kind of about girls, and this isn't everyone, but some people will say, well, girls are rude unless you're rich. But I ain't rich yet. They ain't fucking rude to me. Why? Well, because I'm me. I've earned them. I don't deserve that.
You've got that energy as well.
The energy.
The energy that you cannot see. Like, it is real.
Don't get me wrong. Money is definitely important. Me and George are definitely trying to get, like, that's. I don't really care about much else. No. Obviously, I do. I care about my friends, my family, my body more than the money. But money is definitely up here in terms of, let me fucking get this shit. You know what I'm saying? But there's other ways to earn respect, and don't just be thinking that you deserve it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if someone doesn't respect me, I'm going to look in the mirror and say, why not? Do you know what I'm saying? I hope people listening understand where I'm going with this, because it's important.
No, it is important. And like you were saying about how, women aren't rude to you and stuff, I've never ever, whenever I've been around women, and this is not me saying, I'm a fucking player and I smash loads of birds, because I don't, okay? No, I definitely don't. But anyway, basically, whenever I've been around girls, whatever, I've always had a girl say to me, like, oh, I feel so comfortable around you. Like, etc. Whatever. I feel so comfortable around you. Are you like you're this person, you're that. Why is that? It's not because I've had that energy. We have that energy. It's not because I'm a fucking creep and I'm a weirdo, weird perverted boy that doesn't get none.
It's semi-intentional. Like, yeah, okay, you're lucky that you weren't this natural creep, but you're also aware of the fact that saying this or acting this way makes you a creep. So you deserve the credit for being the guy who they're comfortable around.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
No, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. You're right.
And that's not me being big-headed, by the way. That's just a thing that I've noticed, and I'm sure you've noticed it as well.
Sometimes I hear people go, oh, well, like, okay, if you try to chat to some girl and she don't reply, and she doesn't, you're gross, get away from it. Like, bro, she ain't doing that to certain people. So that's on you. No, it's your fault. Do you know what I'm saying? If you walk into a boardroom, or okay, maybe you won't walk into a boardroom, but maybe you walk into a place of business, right? And well, when I say things, they don't listen to my opinion. No one cares what I say. They're just cunts, and it's just them and their circle. They won't let anyone get in. No, they will. You're just
not the right person. Yeah,
you're not worthy of it. And yeah, you have to change. You have to change. You have to put in the work. And this is why. And I keep saying about it, but you need to go to the gym. And you need to do push-ups, sit-ups, whatever.
Do some form of physical activity.
You need to get in shape. It is the easiest way to get respect. Trust me. Because you might be in a room with a guy who's richer than you, who has a massive fuck-off mansion, right? You could be fucking bald or anything. He could have lovely, luscious locks of hair. He can have a fucking... Well, maybe he has a beautiful wife, whatever. He might have everything. But if he's fat and you're in good shape, he's going to respect you.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the easiest way to get respect. I'm telling you now. You go to your family's house. Be a fat fuck. Like, maybe you're not in the great. Don't have to be fat. You might not be in good shape. Get in shape and see how your family treat you. Your opinion will mean more, even if it's stuff you know nothing about. If a guy's in shape, and he says your car's broken down, he says this is why. You just believe him. Do you know what I'm saying? I know this contradicts what I was saying before about getting scammed by mechanics and everything, but like if someone's in shape, it just presents this I don't know, almost a position of authority in a way because they've done something that most people haven't. Most people aren't in shape. So if you're watching this right now, I suggest you go to the gym now. And if you've already gone to the gym today, then
go again.
Definitely. Go again.
Right. Let's talk about the keep calm and carry on phrase, okay? I know it was used in World War II, and that was the main purpose of it, but it got brought up a lot during COVID, and a lot of other times it comes out. This translates, in my brain, to shut up and do as you're fucking told, basically.
That's a good point.
That is what it translates
I never thought of it like that.
No, I've never thought about it like that.
Right.
But it's like that translates to me. And you're going to say, oh, what do you mean? No, it fucking doesn't. Listen to it. Really think about it. Keep calm and carry on, okay? Obviously, it was used in the war times, okay? That's completely different. Maybe we'll talk about that another time. But with the COVID scenario, and they're going to carry on, they might carry on use it. They might come out with another one. And they'll say, say, for example, they bring out a CBDC and, everyone's panicking and they go, no, that's all right, just keep calm, carry on. Or with the vaccine, it's fine. Everyone's panicking because people are dying. Just keep calm, carry on, do as you're fucking told. Don't worry about us taking your rights off you. Don't worry about fucking us bringing in a digital pound. That means you're not going to have privacy on your money. Don't worry that we're taking away cash and your freedom, for example.
Don't worry about the fact that we just chopped your son's dick off behind your back.
Yeah, and it's okay. And yeah, he's decided to fucking put some tits on, okay? Yeah.
Go ahead.
But yeah, to me, that translated to just shut up and follow the orders that we're saying. Just keep calm. Carry on what you're doing. You're doing a good job. Let us carry on doing our work.
Yeah.
Just carry on.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It does. And I don't want to... So that was a wartime?
No, it was used in World War II. I think not just that, but I'm more relating it to the COVID. COVID
100%, right? Because here's the thing, right? And people need to understand. I'm just Googling right now.
Yeah.
Keep calm and carry on. Yeah, I did
it
see
was
that.
everywhere.
It was big. I used to see it all the time, right? But yeah, listen, there is a degree of
it's
that.
Subliminal messaging, mate.
Yeah, because when they say keep calm and carry on, it basically means like look the other way.
Yeah, so
in a sense. Now, I'm not saying that at
the
time.
Popular slogan calling for a persistent in the face of challenge. It was for British propaganda.
Like,
so World War II was where it was first used, obviously.
But I could definitely see where you're coming from. 100%.
It's subliminal messaging. You don't even realise.
Yeah, listen, the way I see it, when it comes to keeping calm,
maybe I'm completely wrong on it.
No, but let's just think about the idea of keeping calm anyway. Because now that you've said
look. I literally typed this. You know what I was talking about?
Yeah, no, 100%.
The Guardian literally says, right, it's a sinister message behind the slogan. Basically, it's seducing the nation. But subliminal messaging.
Get this. Let's forget about the carry on for a second.
Yeah.
Right? Because some people will take that in the right way. Some people will say, okay, there's a big challenge coming on. There's a big crazy shit's happened. I'm the man. Let me keep calm and carry on. Right? But the idea of keeping calm, to me, basically means the way you present yourself. Keep calm in terms of don't panic in front of people. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, don't panic in front of people. But the idea of keeping calm, I actually am anti-calm. I think you should never be calm.
Look, it says realistically, the Keep Calm and Carry On poster was not mass-produced until 2008, which was when the financial crash was, okay? The 2008-2009 recession, okay? So that's when it was mass-produced. This is the Guardian saying this, by the way.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you can see that, yeah. But let's just say, right, okay, the idea of keeping calm, because I always think, like, okay, I need to be calm. Something bad happens. I always think, okay, stay calm. Tell yourself that, no matter what it is, just stay calm. But when I tell myself stay calm, I mean, like, don't freak out in front of people. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't freak out in front of your girlfriend so then she loses respect and doesn't think that you can handle yourself. Like, but realistically, I'm never really calm. I think being calm is bad. Like, when you really look at what being calm is, it is actually like
flaccid.
Yeah, it's like complacent.
Yeah.
Like, well, we're calm,
he's don't really give a fuck.
Relax. No, you should be fucking sharp and thinking all the time. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, definitely.
It's
an interesting subject.
Interesting what
it's
you
really
said.
Interesting.
The fact is, though, like, when it comes to carrying on as well, like, I do like the idea keep calm and carry on. I do like it when I look at it, I feel like I take it in the right way.
Yeah.
But no, 100%. Some people will just say, oh, fuck it. The world's going to shit. Keep calm and carry on. Do you know what I'm saying?
Do as you're told.
Yeah, do as you're told.
It depends what way you look at it.
Don't speak out.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. It really depends what way you look at it. Maybe I'm looking at it too much. I don't know. It depends. Like I said, everyone's mind works slightly differently. But it is subliminal messaging. Like I said, it's propaganda. The same as a lot of other things that are propaganda.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's like, if you imagine it like this, right? Let's just change it up a little bit. Say, for example, you feel sad all the time, right? If you make a conscious decision to wake up every day and tell yourself you're happy, every time you think about it, every time you think that you're sad, you tell yourself, no, I'm happy, okay? Every time that you think of that dreadful thing that happened to you and you go, no, I'm happy. After a long enough time scale, you will not have to do that. You will be happy. Or you think of a happy memory, for example. Say, for example, something really fucking bad happened to you, okay? I don't know, your fucking family died in a fire, right?
Yeah.
Terrible fucking scenario.
I don't know why I'm smiling, but yeah.
Anyway, terrible scenario, right? And, you're getting flashbacks of this thing and this dreadful event is fucking horrific, how you're thinking, how am I going to get over this? And then you think about, I don't know, the day your kid was born, okay? Your kid that you've had with your wife, the day that she's born, not the one that died in the fire, the new one.
Yeah.
But anyway, the kid that was born, okay, that was the most amazing moment of your life, okay? And you every time you think about it, it brings this amazing feeling to you. Okay, now every time that you have that trauma that comes to you, you decide to change that thought process to think about the kid that was born, okay? And every single time you do it, After enough time, repeat, you keep thinking the same thing, you won't even have to think about this thing. It will just automatically blend together. And this horrific event that's gone on will blend into the other one.
Yeah, and you know what?
And it will sort of take away this disgusting thing, this horrific event.
I actually have done that in a way, in a different situation, right? But
that was an extreme case,
there's
obviously.
a ex-Navy SEAL, United States Navy SEAL. His name's Jocko Willink.
Yeah.
Right, I don't know if you know. Anyone know him? Google him. He's a good guy. He's motivational, and he's been on Joe Rogan a couple of times. He's been on a lot of podcasts. He's the type of guy you want to look up to, right? Intelligent man. He's not woke. He's just a patriot. Loves his country. Fought in the Iraqi war, I believe. But anyway, he has this thing, right, that I adopted from him. He always says, when something bad happens, good. I might have said this before.
No, I've seen this, yeah.
But when something bad happens, he says good, right? And I used to convince myself to, I used to force myself to say that anytime shit happened. You know, you take financial loss, good. Something bad happened, good. It's good for my character, good. This
builds character.
When I actually make it, I can look back and say, I'm glad that fucking happened. And you know what, like you said, in terms of, if you, on a long enough time frame, eventually you'll just start automatically thinking it. So when something happened the other day, not great financially, I thought, you know what, fuck it, good. I'm glad that fucking happened. You know, like automatically, like we said earlier, programmed yourself, repetition, right? Good. You can program yourself. Something bad happens, you make good of it. Or like you said, let's say your family, like every time you think of them, you can say, well, at least I've got this now. You know, like, you're right. I just think you made a good point, and I personally do that. So I'm not, like, we're actually...
Always find the best out of a bad situation.
What you just preached, I personally am practicing.
I do that as
on a day-to-day basis.
I remember, like I said, I've had it before. I've been really fucking pissed off about something that I've done or whatever, and then or something that's happened to me. Say, for example, something's happened to me or whatever, or I've caused something for a reaction to happen to me. And, you know, I'm really pissed off I had this before, I was really pissed off with something for about a week. And then I just reversed it, and I was like, well, that happened for a reason. Why did that happen? Where is this going to take me?
Yeah.
And it sort of rewired my mind into thinking it a different way. And inevitably, it put me in a better place after that.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, let's stick with the good. Like, I think anyone watching this, I do it. Maybe you'll do it.
Yeah.
Like the whole flipping you have to flip the dynamic of the situation. You have to flip the frame. You have to change it completely. Something negative, good. Okay, I got beat up, good. Now I'll be more aware next time.
Now I can take a punch.
Now I can take a punch. Now I know what it's like to get beaten up, and I know I will second think before I get mouthy.
Now I know it doesn't hurt.
Now I know it's not as bad as I thought. Okay, I got fucking... I invested 20 grand into this and I lost it all. Okay, good. Listen. Now when I make it, I can look back and say, fuck it, I got through all these struggles. That's the way you have to think. And I think it's going to come in handy to men, because the reality is you are going to get hit many, many times. We're young guys. We're young guys. I feel like I've been hit a million times and my life ain't even that fucking bad. So some people are really on the fucking bottom end of the fucking pile.
Of the stick,
yeah, they're getting fucked over on a day-to-day basis. They're getting ignored on a day-to-day basis. She ignored you, good. She ignored you. Now you can build yourself up. You can go to the gym. You can listen to what we're saying. You can watch this show, obviously, and like and subscribe. Remember that. Then you can build yourself up into the main character, and then good, because then she's going to then say, oh, I want to now talk to you, and you can say, nah, fuck you, you didn't want me when I was...
Well, when she does message her, you can string her along a little bit, maybe say, oh, maybe I'll go on a date with you, I'm not sure, and you can play with her a little bit.
You can become a manipulative asshole.
not in a bad way. My advice. Yeah, do it.
No, but it's 100% true. Listen, and this is really... but this is really where I think it's going to come into play, because it's easy to say that on little things. Okay, your car breaks down and you missed an opportunity, you were on your way to a meeting and that deal's gone. Okay, you can sit and say good. That may be hard, but it's easier than when, I don't know, someone in your family dies. Now, I don't mean good as in I'm glad that happened, but you know what? you know what? Good, because now because remember, you're the main character in your story. Okay? Batman. We'll change it from you. Batman, his parents died. What's his name? Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne, his parents died. Now, he didn't want that to happen. But good. Because now he can go through what he needs to go through to become Batman and save every fucker in whatever the fuck. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not... And this isn't as... I'm not saying that you just need to find the positive of every situation. There's always light in every situation. No, that's bullshit. Usually it's shit, and when you look at the actual situation, nothing good's going to come of it. Okay? Your mother died? No, there's no positive. But you need to almost lie to yourself, but it's not a lie, but it's a lie for now. You just need to convince yourself, program yourself, say, you know what? Good. Now I'm going to become the man that she always wanted me to be. If she never died, well, then I might have just sort of been this average guy forever. But she's gone. Now I need to make her proud.
There's another way you can look at it as well. Say, for example, like you were saying, where you were talking about, you know, how if your car broke down when you're on the way to a business meeting, you could say, oh, okay. You could say, look, why was that? Why did the universe not let that happen? Okay. Why did my car break down? Was it going to fuck me over? Is that a way of the universe telling me that he was going to fuck me over? The business deal wasn't going to go well. He was going to try and cheat me out of something, okay? And that's another way you can sort of look at it. Rather than, like, say, for example, you know, you were saying about a parent or a relative dying. Say, for example, they died, for example. You can look at it in terms of, say, for example, they were really lonely. You could look at it as if, like, and, you know, they're always mourning over, like, their partner that died, for example. You could look at it in the terms of, okay, now they're in a better place with their other half.
Well, exactly. Okay, grandma died. Good. And don't clip it up. This sounds harsh, but hear me out. Okay, good. Now she can be in heaven with granddad.
Yeah.
They're reunited again.
Exactly.
Like, sometimes, and now whether that's lying to yourself, whether it's cope, whatever helps.
That's the way you need to think.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's mindset. Grandma died. Look, think about this. There's two ways to look at it. Okay. Grandma died. I'm going to now be depressed and take antidepressants, and I'm going to miss work tomorrow, and I'm going to lose my job because I haven't been in because I've been fucking sad, even though everyone else in the history of humankind has been sad because their grandma died too, or will die. It's going to happen to everyone, right? But or you've got the other option, which is, you know what? Okay, she's sad. I'm upset.
She had such a great life,
but good. She died with a loving family who care about her.
She was terribly ill anyway.
Who now have an appreciation for life. Who now understand. She's gone, but now we understand that people aren't here forever. You know what? I'm going to make up with my brother. I'm going to make up with my uncle, who I haven't spoken to in a couple of years, because he's going to die soon. And yeah, it's okay, good. Like, I'm not just. I don't mean in the corny. There's good of every situation. I mean, like, program yourself to just say good. In a way, and you're almost untouchable, you know, because remember, you're only in control of your reaction to the situations. Life's going to come at you. Now, you don't want to be just this feather in the wind, right? You don't want to be a feather in the wind where life's just fucking pushing you here, throwing you there, and you're just taking it, right? But there's some things you can't control. So you couldn't. Okay, maybe you could have swerved, maybe you could have been paying attention and seen the pothole, but fuck it, it's happened. You got a flat tire, you missed the job interview, good.
There's a reason.
You need to start a business.
There's a reason.
Start a business, and people are going to say, "Oh, well, these boys are just chatting shit, and they don't know what they're talking about, and I have the right to be upset and depressed." Yeah, well, you be depressed whilst I say good and get on with my life and become something. Become something.
Definitely. Right. I think that's all we've got to say for today. Lovely. Yes. Well, thank you everybody for listening. If you listen to the end, congratulations. You are smarter now. We've had a good episode, to be fair. I think that was quite an interesting one.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
Any feedback, leave it in the comments.
Yeah, again,
anything you want us to talk about or cover, give us some theories that you want us to cover. We'll do some research on them. I think it'll be interesting. You know, if you come up with some theories or comments, we'll do a bit of research through the week about them, have a little discussion about them, and we'll go over it and go over our opinions on it.
Yeah, 100%.
Anything else? Oh, and also follow all the links in the description of the video. Really appreciate it. Like I said, like, subscribe to help push us through the algorithm. And yeah.
Yes. Listen, guys, what you need to do is you need to take what we're saying. Right? Yes, there's some of it's entertainment. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, some of it is entertainment.
Some of what we're saying is just entertainment. But it's more than that, right? It's also like free speech. Like, even if you disagree with us,
it's still free speech. Like,
you need to understand that if you don't like what we're saying, or you have a
different completely opinion, fine.
That's good. Fantastic. Fantastic. You disagree with me, good. At least we can still speak about it. Because let me tell you something. There's a lot of people in this world, and remember, when we talk about the people at the top, whether you call it the elites, the system, the matrix, whatever, they're the reason that shows like this exist in the first place. Right? To act as the opposite to that, to act as a voice in the battle. Because remember, it is a battle, right? So before you start saying, well, these guys are talking shit, blah, 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 first think to yourself, okay, I disagree with what they're saying, but I'm glad that they're there to say it.
Yeah, and I'm glad they've got their own opinion, and I'm not going to hate on them for it. I'm just going to let them get on with their life, because it doesn't affect me. You know, it's not going to change my thought process, and if it doesn't, then that's fair enough. That's completely fine. Listen to whatever shit you want to listen to.
Yeah.
But if you do enjoy it, like it.
Yeah, and listen, I'd much rather you disagree with what I say, but because you looked at all the evidence and you didn't have a voice in your ear telling you to think a certain way, you came up with your own conclusion.
And own opinion about something.
I'd much rather that than you just listen to us and say, oh, well, they said it, so it's true.
A real sort of democratic state, if you like. Yeah. The real actual democracy, not this fake democracy that we have.
Yeah, have your own opinion. Listen, guys, I don't want to drag the conclusion to this episode. We're done, but I just want to keep saying, like, have your own opinion. That is all that matters. Trust me, having your own opinion and being attacked for it is better than being a sheep and being rewarded for it. 100%.
Lovely. Thank you very much.